What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video. My name is Camelia. I am a day trader, content creator. I'm just a girl that's on YouTube making YouTube videos about my day trading life. So in today's video, I want to talk to you guys about how to become profitable, how to become a profitable day trader in 2025 or 2026, whenever this hits you. I want to talk to y'all about how I became a profitable day trader. The crazy thing is, it took me 5 years to become profitable. Do I think I could have done it in less than? Absolutely yes. But the journey was my journey. I needed that. I'm hoping that my advice shortens a lot of you all's trading time span, like your profitability time span. To be honest, it doesn't have to be that long of a process. It's just that it becomes a thing of self more than anything else. All right. So I'm going to tell y'all a story, but real quick, I have to do my weekly analysis with my group. You guys know I started my Discord chat, and I like to go over my trades every single week with them. I feel like documenting your trades is something that's super, super important when it comes to trading, because why would you, if you're going to put your money on something, you should be able to go back and know what you put your money on. And I want to do that with my trades. I do not like taking trades and I don't know what I put my money on, basically. So documenting your trades, keeping them, this whole trading journal thing I'm doing, this is how I'm keeping up with my trades. So I drop all of my trades in my Discord chat. I have a separate channel where you guys can see every single trade that I take throughout the week. And I just like to keep that because it keeps me grounded. It keeps me focused. It keeps me knowing what I want to see. And when I go back and look at my trades, I should see some similarities in my trading. That's what I want to see. So I'm going to go over that with them. We're going to be on for about maybe an hour or so. And then I'm going to come back to y'all and we're just going to talk about how to become profitable in 2020, whatever. Just how to become profitable. And I'm going to tell you guys my story and what really made me become profitable. You know what I mean? Like what really changed the whole game for me from being sporadically profitable, I'm making money here, making money there, to consistently making money week after week, month after month. All right, so let's get into this. All right, y'all, so I'm about to hop on live in just a moment. These are the 3 trades I've taken this week. So I took 2 wins, 1 loss this week. And I like to just go over these trades in more detail, even though I was on live when I took these, just to be able to recap, go back, go over why we took these setups, what we saw when I took these setups. And, just being able to lock in and understanding the strategy and on a more deeper level. So let's go ahead and lock in with them. And then I am going to head to the gym after this. And then let's go ahead and chat about how we're going to become profitable in 2025. How I became profitable last year, what I did, what I'm still doing now. And yeah. What's up, y'all? So I'm at the gym. I'm out of breath. I don't know why. I haven't done anything that breathtaking. That's how you know I need to stay in the gym. But I'm done. I've done what I could do. I wanted to get on here. Let me sit down for a second. So I was doing some thinking in here while I'm doing my workout and I'm here at the gym. I'm thinking about, how I became profitable, like what got me to this point. And a lot of times I feel like a lot of people think that it's the system and process that gets you to that profitability point. But really, I'm not going to say it has nothing to do with that. But when I tell you it has so much to do with self, it makes absolutely no sense. And what I had to do for myself to get around it, because I'm like, yo, y'all got to understand, I just became profitable last year. I'm not no 5 years, 10 years into profitability. When I say I've been trading for 5 years, I wasn't making money for 5 years, right? Before. And then I started to find profitability and I'm like, what clicked? Like what changed? And I used to think that it was supply and demand that changed everything. But to be honest, that's not what changed the game for me. Supply and demand is not what changed the game for me. What really changed the game was my mindset when it came to my strategy. This is what I mean. Throughout my first 4 years, I started making a little money here, losing money there, making a little money here, making big money here, losing a lot of big money there. And I would make money, lose money, make money, lose money, make money, lose money, always hit break even, because I got out of the losing stage and I started being break even for a couple of years. I was break even longer than anything because to me, it's easy to find a strategy. It's easy to find something that works. But then you have to go a little bit farther than that. And that little bit farther you have to go, that's what separates you from being consistently profitable to making money sometime. I thought to myself, what did I do that changed from me making money sometimes to making money week after week and month after month. Like, what did I do differently? So year 5 came around. This is now beginning of 2024. This is kind of when I found out, not necessarily about supply and demand, because I've always knew about supply and demand. And as y'all know, I've learned from a lot of many different traders online. I was a YouTube learner, YouTube University, right? That was all me. And so with me doing that, it allowed me to consume a lot of information. I learned a lot of strategies. I learned a lot of different systems and processes and different things like that. And they all worked, right? And I was always taught that, you know, you have a toolbox. You have all these tools in your toolbox, and your tools are strategies. That's your supply and demand, that's your support and resistance, that's your fair value gaps, that's your Fibonacci, that's your RSI, that's your EMAs. It's just all these different strategies were inside of this toolbox. And I was always taught to have a toolbox of strategies, and you pull them out and apply it to the market where it needs to be, right? So if the market is giving you a support and resistance setup, you pull support and resistance out your toolbox. If the market is giving you a Fibonacci level, you pull out Fibonacci's out of your toolbox. If the market is giving you a fair value gap, you pull fair value gaps out of your toolbox and you apply it to the market. Now, here's where that didn't sit too well with me. And this is why I would have, sometimes I'm profitable, sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm profitable, sometimes I'm not. Because I started to learn that it's all personality driven. So for me, I had a very bad habit of FOMOing into trades, gambling into trades. So to me, having a big basket of options wasn't good for me, right? Because it was easy for me to see a setup in the market and find an excuse to why I should apply a strategy to the market. And I would find myself, not only was I chasing the market, but then I would try to back it up with, oh, well, I could use the so-and-so strategy and apply it to this, and this is gonna make sense. So I was using it as an excuse to get in way too many trades. That wasn't good for me, right, y'all? I was a gamble trader. I was a FOMO trader. Any move I saw happen in the market, I needed to be a part of it. And then I would just use all these strategies that I had in my toolbox as an excuse as to why I got into that trade. And what didn't help is I won, I don't want to say a lot of them, but I would win a lot and then lose a lot. Like, it was just always this push and pull yo-yo effect that was just never super solid. So then that's when I ran into supply and demand. I've always knew about supply and demand. It was already in my toolbox, but it just wasn't the only tool in my toolbox. So then in 2024, that's when I found out about Doyle. I joined his group, and I knew about supply and demand already. I had already seen supply and demand. Again, it was already in my toolbox, but I just heard it from his perspective, and he broke it down in a simple way for me to understand it. And I liked it, right? And I was able to kind of tweak it a little bit to make it my own, but I liked the simple strategy. So I traded it for a while. I made some good money. Traded it for a while, made some good money. Would venture off and go to other strategies. Lose, make some money, lose. But I noticed, I'm like, it seems like every time I take a supply and demand setup, I win. So I thought to myself, what if I just only trade supply and demand? Like, what would happen if I only just traded supply and demand and that's it? And that's what I did. So beginning of 2024, I locked in solely on supply and demand. And I realized, okay, I had it all backwards. You know how when you say, okay, what are your set of rules? The average person says, my rules are, I take one trade a day. I don't over leverage. I don't over trade. After a loss, I get off the charts. Like, those are their rules. But I didn't need, those were too on the surface for me. I needed a set of rules that I only took when I got into a position. And supply and demand was able to give me that, right? It was able to put it in a small box, put it on something that I could just write down and see. And that's what changed the game. So I found myself, I broke it down into 4 easy steps. Okay, supply and demand works best in the trending market. So step 1 is finding the trend. Then step 2, I wait for a break of structure. Step 3, wait for price to come back and tap my zone. And then step 4, take my entry, whether that's aggressive, conservative, or break of the candle. So not only did I have my surface rules, One trade a day. Don't over leverage. Don't over trade. Don't trade on news. Don't trade on big holidays. Like all those set of rules that just are on the surface, they don't help you with your entry. I needed a set of rules that I could apply to just my entry. And that's what changed it for me. So shift your focus to what set of rules do I need to set in place in order to hit buy or sell? That's it. Not when I should be trading, where I should be trading, how I should be trading, what size. What set of rules do you have written down that you take or that you follow when you're about to take a position? Once I was able to narrow that down into one thing, that's when everything changed. I'm telling you, the whole entire thing changed. Because I was able to make it something I could rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. That's what this is all about. So it doesn't have to necessarily be supply and demand. You could trade fibs. You could trade fair value gaps. You could trade order blocks. It doesn't matter what you're trading, but narrow it down into a small set of rules that you can just apply to the markets and say, hey, if A, B, C, and D happens, I'm going to do this. If A, B, and C, and D don't happen, I'm not going to do this. It just needs to be that simple, straight to the point, clean cut. I'm giving y'all the sauce. And also what I'm about to do is I'm about to go to my computer and I'm gonna show y'all this until y'all get tired of seeing it. I'm just showing y'all what works for me. Now, granted, you can use any type of system or process you want. You don't have to use the one that I have. But the one that I have works for me. It keeps me sane, it keeps me disciplined, it keeps me grounded. And it allows me to just clearly see if I'm doing anything, if I'm stepping out of anything else, I know I'm doing the wrong thing. For my rules, for what I want to do for myself. All right? How am I getting lost in my own complex? Oh, crap. So let's go back. Let's go to my computer. And I want y'all to see how this simple system and process is what changed the game. We're going to apply it, and I'm just going to leave it at that. And anything outside of this, I just won't take it. And why is it so easy for me to lock in and do that? Because whenever I didn't do that, I was inconsistently profitable. I'm enjoying making consistent money now. I'm enjoying hitting 10K months, a month after month. I'm enjoying that. So why switch it up? Why change what's working? So let's head to my laptop real quick. I want to show y'all a quick example, and I'm gonna show y'all this until y'all get tired of seeing it. I want y'all to see how easy and simple this strategy is and why I'm so head over heels about it, because I feel like it's something that can be replicated over and over and over and over again. And it does not change. And the thing that I love about it the most is not only does it not change, but if it doesn't work out, a lot of times it just won't allow you to get into the trade. Or if you do take a loss, the loss is so small, it doesn't compare to the wins. All right. That's the great thing about this strategy. You know where your stop loss is. You know where your TP is going to be. All right. Well, the TP can kind of vary, but you know what I mean. You know where your stop loss is. And that's what's most important here. You can kind of gauge it. You can kind of put a little bit of a limit on your loss, right? Because you decide how much size you want to put onto the trade. All right, but we'll talk about that in another video. I just want to show y'all the simple system and process and why I stick to it so much. Okay, I'm going to draw it out first for y'all. So the market moves in waves. This is the system and process that we're trading. The market just moves up and down, up and down, up and down. It makes new highs, makes higher lows, new highs, higher lows, right? What we're trying to do here is whenever price pushes up, pulls back, pushes up, this break of structure, we want to find a trend. First, our trend is bullish. We find buy trend. We see a buy trend with our eyes on the screen. All right, so let me draw a little bit more out. So let's say this is the trend I see. I can see buys on my screen, right? Prices come up and broken structure. Once price breaks structure, all I need price to do is come back down to one of my demand zones, right? I can't even get it right. All I need price to do is come down to one of my demand zones. I get into the trade and then take it up to the next high. That's all I'm trying to do. Some days it may go for a 1-to-1. Some days it may just go for a 1-to-2. Some days it may just go berserk. But all we're doing is applying this simple system and process to a trend in the market. The reason why this helped me become profitable is because it was something that not only could I write down again my rules, but I was able to create rules for my entry. That's what changed everything. I was able to create specific rules for a specific entry. If you watch my videos, you know the 4 things I look for when I'm taking a trade. My 4 things. First, step 1 is find a trend. I trade on the 5-minute time frame. We keep it simple. If I'm looking at my 5-minute time frame, you can ask a kid this. Which direction are these sticks going? They're going up, right? So if I came to the market right here, right now, and I wanted to take a trade, my first step is going to be find the trend. Once I find the trend, it's bullish. The only thing I should be hitting on my screen is buy. I should not be selling at all. If this market came down and tanked all the way down here, who cares? That's not my trade. I'm trading what I see, not what I think. Okay? I'm seeing a buy trend. I want to look for buys. All right? Now, again, we have so many different strategies out there. You have a trend line, right? You can say that there is support, right? You can say that there's some sort of fair value gap. I don't know. The RSI could be in a certain place. The Fibonacci could be in a certain place. There's so many things you can apply to this market to try to figure out what you should do, buy or sell. And they're all right. I wouldn't say any of them are wrong. You wait for the system or process to happen. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But for me, I didn't like having that pot of options. All those options did me no good. I needed to narrow it down to 4 simple options, so that's what I got. Step 1, find a trend. Step 2 is wait for a break of structure. So if I'm looking at this bullish trend right here, and I see prices buying up, I cannot get in until price break structure. I want to see price break structure. Trade what you see, not what you think. So I can see prices consistently making new highs. Right, we got a high here, we got highs here. We got a little bit of a lower high here, but that's okay, right? Then you may get some people that say, oh, this is a triple top, or this is a head and shoulders pattern, so we should be selling down. There's so many things you can apply to this market, but if you just keep it simple, you will be able to win, okay? Even though there's so many different things and so many different strategies I can apply to what's right here on this chart, if I just stick to my 4 systems and process, this is either going to help me win a trade or help me avoid losing a trade. Okay, so first thing I want to do is wait for a break of structure. My trend is bullish. I see a bullish trend on my screen. I see the candlesticks literally moving up. I'm not going to go too much in detail and say, well, we have a lower high here, so maybe it's no. I just see the market moving up. Okay, so I want to wait to see if pricing breaks structure to the upside. That means it starts to break these highs. If we can break structure, that'll let me know that price could potentially buy. If price continues to the downside, I am not interested in that because I want to trade what I see right here, right now. So let's play these markets. Let's take it slow. And let's see if we can get a break of structure. All right, so let's see it. Let's play it. All right, market's trying to move up, but we're not quite doing anything. I want to wait for a break of structure to the upside. If we don't break structure to the upside, there is no trade. All I can do is just sit on my hands and wait for that to simply happen. Guess what? Price came down. We've not broken structure to the upside. Guess what? The average person may say, we have an even lower high here. We must be taking a sell. That could be true for some strategies. Maybe they'll sell, maybe they can catch what they can catch. But I just want to focus on my system and process and just apply it to the markets, right? This is the time where I'd be digging in my toolbox. I'm throwing out every tool, price wicked up there, liquidity grab, bearish closure. Like I'm doing so much stuff to try to switch up my bias. Stick to one bias. If it doesn't give you that, just shut your laptop and keep it pushing. If it gives you that, then cool. So let's just keep playing these markets and see what happens. Price broke structure to the downside is breaking down. Oh. Y'all saw that? Price just pushed up and broke structure here and here. We've broken structure to the upside. You can see the structure be broken. So guess what? When I see the break of structure, does that mean I'm now hopping in buys? This was the old me. Does that mean I'm just buying? Does that mean I'm just hopping in buys? Absolutely not, right? First step is find a trend. Second step is wait for a break of structure. Once you see price breaks the previous highs on your screen, most recent, now we have a setup. Okay? So your demand zone and buys is always going to be that red candle where price pushed out of. All right? So let's go ahead and mark up this red candle. It's a pretty large candle, and that's okay. It doesn't matter. It's all about the system and process. As long as the market is doing what I want it to do, I'm okay taking a position. So we got to break a structure. We got our trend. We got our break of structure. I need price to just come back and tap my zone. If it can tap my zone, then I will get into the trade. If it does not tap my zone, I will not chase these markets. Point blank, period. Okay? So let's see if we can get a candle to come back and tap. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it does, it does. All right, so the market is pushing up. We finally got a red candle and we got a tap. Y'all, we have a tap in our zone. Okay? We have a tap in our zone. I'm seeing everything that I want to see. Now that I have a tap in my zone, I then have 3 entry types. I can either enter aggressive, conservative, or break of the candle. Aggressive would mean as soon as the market taps into my zone, I'm just hitting buy. I'm hitting buy based off of the process, right? Some days I'm feeling it. Some days I'm not. But ideally, that's what your aggressive entry. I rarely ever take aggressive entries because I like to be confident. I like to see a green candle come out of my zone, but that's your first entry type, right? You can take your aggressive entry or you can take a conservative entry. What that means is you're waiting for a green candle to come out of your zone, to close and come out of your zone. A lot of times, if I see a green candle, I may go ahead and get in because ideally, I want to get in as close to this zone as possible. So if I can see a green candle come out of this zone, I'm perfectly fine with getting into this trade. All right, so let's see if we can get a green candle or if it'll continue coming down. Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry. I didn't expect it to do that. Okay, so we got a green candle come out of our zone, and as you can see, like, look at this. Like, this is just insane. Even Champ thinks it's insane. Come here, Bubba. I know you want to see them. Tell them this is insane, Bubba. Wait, whoa. Okay. Sorry. Sit. My dog, he just don't know how to have a little bit of fun. But anyway, so I don't even know what to say. But this is why I trade supply and demand. Not because it's the best in the world. Let me come back to my big camera. Not because it's the best in the world, but because I found something that fits my personality. I found something that I can repeat over and over and over again, and something that I can apply to simple steps. So I encourage you guys, find a system and strategy that works for you. Narrow it down to a set of rules, a set of entry rules, not trading rules, but have a set of entry rules set in place that you can repeat over and over and over and over and over again. I'm telling y'all, this is what changed the game for me. I'm telling y'all what I did. Just rinse and repeat it. You don't have to completely solely copy it 110%, but just repeat the simple basics of this. Lock in on one strategy, study it, simplify it into a few easy steps that you can write down and tell someone else about, and watch how your trading changes. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. I hope you guys learned something today. If you did, drop down in the comments what you learned. Drop down in the comments what you guys are going to do differently this year with your trading career, because y'all, let this year be different. Do something different this year. Do something this year that you did not do last year. And maybe that's just locking in on one strategy. Find a strategy that works, lock in on it, and then see how far it takes you. If you don't get anywhere, then go back to doing what you're doing. But I can almost promise you, if you find a strategy that works for you and you're able to simplify it into easy steps that you can repeat over and over again, I can promise you your trading is going to change. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Also, y'all, if you want to trade live with me, if you want to see how I apply this system and process to real live markets, no back testing, real live markets, taking these trades, then make sure you guys hit the link down below. Lock in with me, join my Discord community, And let's learn how to actually become profitable traders, not just day traders. Anybody can be a day trader, but not everyone can be a profitable day trader. So I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.